Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaac.
I'm Anna.
So today we're going to give you a little gym tour, a sneak peek of what we have going on in our garage gym. This space is, I think, 20 by 20, maybe. It's a little bit bigger than a normal 2-car garage, but when we started, the walls it was all just bare. We kind of just finished the walls, put some texture up, made it look just more like a gym. And then over time, we built this up to what it is today. So with that, we'll give you a little tour of our gym.
Let's go. All right, so one of our first purchases was the Assault Fitness Pro. We replaced it with the original one. So this was my go-to bike until the Echo bike came out, which mainly most programmers use this guy. But I definitely prefer the Rogue bike because I feel like it's a lot harder to push. This Assault Fitness is more forgiving and it also pushes calories. Biggest difference between these bikes. And then we have the C2 bike, which that's my go-to bike if I'm doing active recovery, something like that. It's not a bike that I'm gonna pick to go to all the time, but it's really a bike that you should probably have in your garage over these two guys. We've got the Concept 2 ski erg, which I hate and I rarely use it. Just it's not my favorite piece of equipment. And then we bought the new Rogue rower, which is almost impossible to get open most of the time, but I really like it and it pushes about the same as the Concept 2. I know there's some controversy out there saying that this one's quicker on the calories, which I disagree on that.
All right, over here, we have our Rogue FM6 Twin. It's the 3x3 post. We got the Monster. We kind of decided if we're gonna do it, we're gonna go big. And that's exactly what we did. So we got the Monster with the 1-inch holes. The 6 stands for the 6 post, and then the Twin is actually the twin towers that we have here that both hold weight. So on this side, we have 300 pounds, and on this side, we have 300 pounds. The cool thing about this one is when you use this here, or on the bottom, it has like a low row, that uses a 1-to-1 system. Rogue, I don't know what they did with their pulley system. They did some kind of magic where you're able to do 1-to-1. So if it says 300 pounds, you're pulling 300 pounds. And then over here, we have the trolley system here that can move up and down individual. With these ones, it's a 2-to-1. So if it says like 300 on there, you're only lifting 150 on those. But on this machine, we wanted to get like a functional trainer. Originally, we had just a homemade squat rack that had a pull-up bar on it. The good thing about that one, it only came out to here. The footprint was really small. The other reason why we decided to go with this, the twin tower, it saves us about a foot out because the other one, this piece is where the stacks are and it sticks out a little bit further. So we went with the twin tower so that it saves us that much room on the back. So we save more floor space for our CrossFit movements. You have your pull-up bar here. Like I talked about here, you have your pulley system here. You could do some curls. You could do chest flies with this. On the inside here, we have the J cups. With these J cups, you're able to do back squats. You can move the safety bar up or down on that one. We could bring the bench in here, lower these J cups down, do bench press. And then with this lat pull down, we went and got the roller. So this roller, one, it could be used to pull down your quads or hold down your quads so that you can lift more weight. Obviously, like if you're gonna pull down more than 215 pounds, just kidding, I'm 205 now. But if you're gonna pull more than that, you're gonna need this to hold you down. Otherwise, you're just gonna be doing pull-ups on there. So that's why we invested in this, so we could go heavy on those lat pull downs. Then we have the low row attachment that we're able to sit down here on the floor, do some low row, really concentrate on that back. And on this side over here, we have the landmine attachment. So this one we use quite a bit. It's very functional in the fact that you can do different stuff. You could do rows with that. You could do core work. a lot of accessory work that we could do with that landmine, and that's just attached, comes with an attachment. Also, it came with the rig was these pegs for the bands, so we could do some like more resistance training. And then it also came with the weight trees on the outside, so it kind of keeps everything all compact onto this one unit. I'm really excited about this. Again, as we get older, we're in our 40s now, so making sure that we increase our muscle mass, that's a good biomarker of like health and longevity. So we got this, so kind of like low impact movements, maintain our strength, and then that crosses over into proper movements when we do our CrossFit movements.
All right, so behind the functional trainers where we have all our barbells and our bands set up. So we bought this one a couple years ago. We probably both used it one time. We set up some bands and did some overhead squat work. Have not touched it since. And then I have 2 Bella bars. This one just coated with purple, got it for my birthday. This one is a lot more intense. I use my purple one a lot more. This one I guess would be for mainly just make back squatting and stuff, not really cycling that barbell. And then all these bands seem crazy, but with the programming that I do, we use a lot of them and they really come in play for that. On the other side, we've got more bands just for kind of recovery. My knees are old, so kind of strengthening those with that. Isaac's barbell, it's in perfect shape. He doesn't use it really here. And then this, when we were our beaded rope for crossovers, and I use these rings once in a while when I don't want to do a muscle up into my dips. And then some more bands back here.
All right, over here in this corner, we have 2 boxes. We have one from Titan Fitness. This one's more of like a soft box. Anna's been to the hospital 2 times already, jumping onto a wood box. It's pretty clumsy. But so this one, you can see here, this direction here is 24 on the top. If we have it facing up, it'll give you a 30-inch jump. And then if you go this way, so it's kind of flat, it's going to give you a 20-inch box. So we have the Rogue game style box, and then we have the Titan Fitness soft box. Over here, we have our Rogue GHD. I think it's is it Abraham? I think that's what it's called. So we have the Rogue GHD over here. Really, this is going to be for the posterior chain, the back side of it. However, it's mainly used by Anna and is for the anterior side. So she's doing more like GHD sit-ups as opposed to what it's intended for. So it has the glute ham developer, so you could do some glute raises, glute ham raises, back extensions, hip extensions. Good machine to have. The only downside to this is that it's so bulky and heavy, so it kind of just stays here. Over here, just classic PVC from Home Depot. And of course, everything that I do is extra. So I had to pick up the Rogue PVC pipe. And the only difference here is it has just like these little knurling marks here, so that when you're working on that like snatch grip or technique, there's actually markings on there. So it gives you like a more true feel of where your hand placement is.
Over here in this corner, we just had this built by a buddy of Isaac's to hold all of our accessories. So we've got a 150-pound sandbag, a 20-pound ball, 100-pound D-ball, 70-pound kettlebell, and then these are the attachments that go on to the fitness trainer. We've decided to get 5 all the way to 50 on the dumbbells due to accessory work, and boy, are these well used, 5 all the way to 20. Double kettlebell on the 35, 2 70s. We've got some sandbags. I don't use these guys very much, but they're there in case they show up in a workout. Let's see, Isaac's vest, 20 pounds, usually used for Murph. Some other accessory work once in a while, and then mine is hidden under there that my brother got me for my birthday. Slam ball, again, don't use that very often. My go-to always in this gym is my stand, which I use twice a day sometimes. And the clock, that's a must. Have to have a clock.
On this side of the gym, we have the West Side barbell reverse hyper. The reason why we got this one is because it can easily fold up and we can put it out of the way, kind of tuck it somewhere out, out of the way.
Tongue tied.
We like this one, or I like it personally, because I hurt my back. So when I hurt my back, it was kind of just I had a slip disc. So Westside Barbell, Louis Simmons, and the guys there, they do a lot of heavy lifting. So he's the one that came up with this design. And basically what you do is you attach your foot to it, and you're able to just swing. And what it does is elongates your spine, and then it compresses it as you like lift it up. So what that does is it kind of pulls that sack back in, and it's really good for rehab. So typically we'll just leave like 45s on each side, so 90 pounds. We use that for a warm up, kind of rehab, or if we want to like really lift heavy and build like some strength back there, we could easily add weight to that. Love this machine. If I leave it out like this, typically it turns into a desktop and it ends up with chalk and everything else that Anna puts on here. Over here, we have some parallel bars. These parallel bars rarely get used, more for like core. Once in a while, we'll mess around and we'll do some like handstand push-ups. We just had them from the old gym, brought them here, kind of kept them, might use them. Back here, my favorite, Anna uses GHD. I do the classic ab mat sit-ups. Behind me here, we just got this little like wall mount, this little 3x3 strip. It's 2x3 strip that we're able to mount these Matador on. So this one allows us to do some dips. If I wanted to take it out, we just pull these pins here. We could tuck it behind the sauna or kind of get it out of the way. It gives us some more space over here. Down here, Anna uses this quite a bit. I call it the grandpa bar. It was literally given to us by her dad. And it was mainly for Matthew to do curls, I believe. So it's old school, kind of just spin the ends to keep them on there. She just rigged up these plates that don't belong on there. I think that's going to be one of our next purchases, is an easy curl bar that we can use these like regular Olympic style holes to put on there. Oh, I almost forgot. So we live in New Mexico. It gets really hot. Everything in here gets really dusty. That's one of the bad things about where we live. And then we really live close to the mesa. Plus we have 4 dogs, so there's dander everywhere. Anyway, besides the point, we also have this LG dual inverter. It's a split unit. So that was one of the first big investments that we made in the gym. And the reason why is because it gets really hot in here. So that one actually is refrigerated air that we're able to get into here. We could set it for an hour. We work out really early, or Anna works out really early. I'm working on it. But we could turn on the heater during the winter, and we could set it to turn on like at 4 a.m. By the time we get in here at 5, then the gym is decently warm. It is Wi-Fi enabled, so we can set a timer, automatically turn on or off. And then during the summer, it gets really hot in here, so we're able to just put that on, get some refrigerated air in here, turn on the fan. The other thing that we did was we installed this was just like a regular garage door. We just put the panels on there to get some more insulation. That really made a big difference in keeping it cool or keeping it hot, whatever we decided we wanted, or whatever we need for that day.
All right, so this is our Rogue incline bench. I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to lift it up. You do wanna get down, kind of squat with both hands, but moves really nice. Set it back down. So that's super convenient. It inclines all the way actually to sitting straight up. So cool feature. And as low as that guy right there. So I do a bunch on this: incline bench, flat bench, dumbbell rows, pullovers. I don't really move that ever. I probably should. I don't move it. Box squats potentially, a ton of stuff. Abductor workouts. So this comes in handy and has a ton of different functions. All right, my set of rings, not the best to have in the gym. And if I don't kind of crunch my knees up, I'm gonna hit the floor. But these are cool just mainly for like strict muscle ups. Yeah, I'd like them in a different spot because they do get in the way with barbell work often. And then we have not a homemade pull. It's not a homemade pull bar. I forgot where we got it really long time ago, but Isaac has a buddy that extended it down. So I was able to do some bar muscle ups. So half of it is homemade and half of it is not. And I use this barbell, or I use this pull-up bar over the Rogue because the Rogue is super grippy and will tear my hands pretty bad.
Over here is our newest addition to our gym, staple of our recovery. So over here we have the Almost Heaven Sauna. This one comes with a 6 kilowatt heater. It comes with heater inside, monitor. This one gets up to 220 degrees, and this is a 3-person. We got this one specifically because it didn't take a lot of room in the garage in the corner. The only downfall about this one is, since it is that 6 kilowatt heater, you will have to have an electrician come out and wire that up for you. But we love the traditional. We're able to put water on top of the hot coals to give it some steam. We typically spend about 20 minutes. And then these fancy caps here, these are sauna caps that we found online. The Finnish, they like to wear these. And what it does, I mean, it's not a big deal for me because I'm bald. But what it does is, one, it helps protect your hair. And then the other benefit of it is that it doesn't allow your head to heat up as much, so it insulates it. So you're able to stay a little bit longer inside the sauna. Real quick, we do have one more piece of equipment that's not here in the gym. Let me just show you that. We have an assault runner. All right, over here, this is kind of my office where I do the editing, but we also have the assault runner. So on this one, it was taking up way too much space. This was sitting back in there where the sauna was at. We ended up bringing it inside, so it's kind of like a pain in the ass. During the summer, we just run outside. During the winter, we get to come in here, we run. And then in the corner here, we have our mats that we have. We kind of just lay them out in here. This is kind of where we do our recovery. We do our band work, recovery work. We have the Kinneon Move that we can keep in here. So this is some red light therapy. This is kind of like the newest stuff that we've been doing. So what we found was stretching, mobility work, taking care of our body and our joints. That's kind of helped improve our overall fitness and keeping us in the game. And so this is kind of the area that we do that. We'll do our stretching. We follow pliability. Kind of just set the mats up in here, do a little bit of some yoga, stretching, mobility work. Cool, let's go back into the gym. Well, that's it. That's a little tour of our home gym. If you were gonna recommend one piece of equipment for somebody just to start off with, what would you recommend?
What's my budget?
Let's go $100.
Pair of 35-pound dumbbells. They're about $100.
Yeah, if you buy them brand new, they're about $2 a pound. It's probably like $70 just for that. Why would you go with that?
Dumbbells could be used for everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would start off with a pair of dumbbells, go from there. From there, you're gonna upgrade to one of the machines. You mentioned it before. Which one would you go with to start off with?
Rogue Echo Bike. It's my favorite.
All right, and for that price, I would say the Concept 2 or a rower, only because you can just kind of do low intensity. You could be riding that bike while you're watching a movie, recovery, or you could go pretty intense with it by moving it up. For me, the Echo Bike is 100 or nothing. It's really hard to do anything else, but it's probably the most effective. And then obviously, like, build up from there. I would go barbell next, some weights, and then just a squat rack and a pull-up bar. So if you had a squat rack that has a pull-up bar on it, they make ones that fold up out of the way, a barbell, some weights, a dumbbell, set of dumbbells. I think that's where you should try to start off with. And then from there, build upon it as your fitness increases. But with that equipment, I think you can really get like a good workout and be good, be set.
Make it to the CrossFit Games even.
I'm sure it's been done.
There's garage gymmers out there.
Cool. If there's any piece of equipment that you want us to do a review on, or you want to know more, just put it down in the comments and we will go in there and we'll do a review on that. I think we're gonna do a couple reviews on some of our equipment that we have behind us. So yeah, if there's anything that you specifically want to see, leave it in the comments. Or if you have any questions for us, put them there and we will make a video or answer those for sure.
Until next time.
Make sure to like, subscribe. Again, let us know. Also, what piece of equipment that we don't have that you recommend. Put that in the comments too.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.